Hello everyone, I am The Wiz and I'm continuing to do mini reviews from films from 1995. And as this is June, this month is Pride Month, so I thought I would do this week's 3 film reviews based solely on gay and lesbian films or from LGBTQ persuasions. And the first one I chose is a film that is considered kind of an important documentary regarding representation of LGBTQ people. So let's take a look. The Celluloid Closet, directed by Rob Epstein and Jeffrey Friedman. Let's just get this out of the way. If you are at all interested in LGBTQ representation in films, you either should have already watched this film, or you should watch it at your earliest convenience. It goes without saying that the documentary is great and shows how queer representation was looked upon from the beginning of films. And while the film is essentially talking heads with footage from other movies, it invites people to see films in a different light than you may not have ever thought to see them in, which is something I love to see more people do. But what's odd is that this film has never been updated or sequelized in the 30 years since its original release. Representation has gone better since the release of this film, but it would be interesting to see a more detailed interpretation of these types of films. Still, it's a film definitely worth checking out if you are at all interested in LGBTQ representation. I give the Celluloid Closet 4 stars out of 5. Next up, The Incredibly True Adventure of Two Girls in Love, directed by Maria Maggenti. Let's just make one thing clear. This film is clearly not meant for someone like me. The film is literally what the title says it is. Two girls in high school fall in love. And since it's in the perspective of these teenagers, everything seems more grand, more pressing, more dramatic, more serious than it really is. It feels like only these two people could possibly understand the love they have, and everyone couldn't possibly understand it. It's mainly about, yes, teenage love. And in that sense, the film is more universal than I am giving it credit for. But for me, it was a little too corny, a little too sweet, and a little too one-dimensional for someone with my age and specific persuasion. But I will say 2 things. I actually kind of missed the gritty shot in a camcorder vibe indie movies once had, and I honestly think if you are of the age of these characters, I can definitely see someone falling for this film's charms. I give The Incredibly True Adventure of Two Girls in Love 2 stars out of 5. But like I said, if you're a teenager and you're looking for something new, I can see why some would actually fall in love with this movie. So if you're of that age, check it out. If you're not, maybe not bother. And finally, Jeffrey, directed by Christopher Ashland. Normally with comedies, I have a pretty one-dimensional way of reviewing them. Do the jokes land? Is it funny? With Jeffrey, it's not as simple. For me, there was a number of jokes that just didn't land for me. Not saying they didn't work, per se, just they had no effect. But then Jeffrey has an unconventionally upbeat vibe to it that I can excuse some of its jokes not working very well. What makes the upbeat positive vibe so unconventional? Well, Jeffrey is about a gay man who loves sex, but then suddenly stops because of his fear of contracting AIDS. Not only is that really weird to think about, but the fact that this film was made and released in 1995, a time of which the fear was still very much real, is actually astounding to think about. And the fact that Jeffrey maintains that positive, upbeat vibe when the film gets serious deserves some definite kudos. But if there is one thing I need to criticize as well, the main characters are just not all that interesting. Steven Weber is, well, Steven Weber. To me, he's always been the personification of bland. And even Michael T. Weiss as his love interest isn't all that interesting either. However, they are offset by some legitimately funny cameos by Nathan Lane, Kathy Najimy, Kevin Nealon, and other actors you will find very surprising when they come up. But my favorite characters have to be the gay couple Sterling and Darius, played charmingly by Patrick Stewart and Brian Batt. Every scene they are in, they steal, and Stewart plays Sterling with the right amount of relish that made him very enjoyable. So did Jeffrey make me laugh? Sometimes, but it succeeds in other ways that make it something worth the watch. I give Jeffrey 3 stars out of 5. Alright, and that is it for this week's mini reviews from 1995. Up on the screen right now is my current top 10 list before all the reviews, and on the bottom is a list of movies that could crack the top 10 when this is over. Alright everybody, thank you again for watching. See you next time on June 28th for 3 more 1995 film reviews. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please like it. If you didn't, please subscribe. And if you have questions or comments, go ahead and leave a comment whether you liked it or not. It just helps, you know. If you want my written reviews, you can go onto my letterbox at IamThatWiz, or you can go to my website at IamTheWiz.com. Thank you very much again for watching. See you next time.